You want to master boldness? Then understand this: bold isn't a word, it's a weapon. It's not about raising your voice, it's about walking into silence so heavy it cracks under your footsteps. Boldness is a storm dressed as skin, a decision carried in your chest like TNT. People think it's about being loud, being flashy, being seen. But real boldness is what terrifies them: when you don't flinch, when you don't blink, when you keep breathing steady while the world screams for your collapse. That's art, that's mastery. It's painting your scars into armor and daring anyone to mistake them for weakness. You see, hesitation is the meal the vultures feed on. Fear is the currency they trade in, and doubt is the lock they want welded to your spine. But when you're bold, when you refuse to shiver in their storm, you bankrupt them. You strip them of their favorite weapon, the one where they whisper, "Stay small, stay quiet, stay safe." No. Bold is walking into the fire and daring it to remember your name. Bold is pulling the pin and holding the grenade like it's a glass of wine. Bold is laughing at the ceiling when it caves because you knew from the start you'd dance in the rubble. And don't get it twisted. Boldness doesn't mean reckless. Boldness means calculated madness. It's the kind of power that studies the cracks, memorizes the exits, and still says, "Let's blow the whole damn building." It's not chaos for chaos' sake. It's discipline dressed in danger. Boldness is what separates the ones who watch from the ones who move, the ones who pray from the ones who conquer. It's the art of balance, one foot in fear, the other in destiny, and your weight leaning forward no matter what. They'll call you arrogant, they'll call you insane, they'll call you every name except the one they choke on, unbreakable. Because that's what you become when you master the art of the bold. You stop asking permission, you stop apologizing for the volume of your heartbeat. You stop fitting in cages you were never built to fit. And when the world finally realizes you're not bluffing, that this isn't some cheap costume of confidence but raw, fire-forged certainty, they'll do what they always do. They'll tremble, they'll retreat, they'll rewrite history so they don't have to admit they were afraid of you. So master it. Sharpen your edge. Boldness is not about someday, it's about this breath, this second, this move. Either you claim it or you wait for another coward to dress in your crown. The art of boldness doesn't belong to the hesitant. It belongs to the ones who understood that survival was never enough. It's victory or nothing. And the bold, they never leave with nothing. Boldness is not a costume you slip on for the cameras. It's not a speech rehearsed in the mirror or a swagger you fake when the crowd is watching. Boldness is carved into you when everything collapses and you refuse to collapse with it. It's the nights you screamed into your pillow, the mornings you crawled out of hell still daring to stand. That's what they don't understand. Boldness is born in the dirt, not the spotlight. It's not an accessory, it's a scar that refuses to close. And once you wear it, people start shifting around you. Their voices crack, their smiles falter. They can't quite look you in the eye anymore, because boldness exposes their hesitation like a flashlight in a cave. They'll whisper behind your back that you've changed, that you're dangerous, that you've lost your mind. But you know the truth. You didn't lose your mind. You found it. You pulled it out from under years of fear, washed it in gasoline and lit the match. And now every time you speak, every time you move, they feel the heat. You want to master the art of the bold. Stop waiting for applause. Stop waiting for acceptance. Stop waiting for the world to hand you a medal for surviving. Boldness is the act of crowning yourself in the middle of chaos and daring anyone to knock it off your head. It's declaring war with nothing but a smile and a steady pulse. It's knowing they can throw stones, knives, even whole damn buildings, and you'll still be standing, laughing in the dust. Because boldness isn't about avoiding the fall, it's about making the fall look like part of the dance. And when you finally stand there, taller than the wreckage, louder than the silence, stronger than the doubt, you'll realize you didn't just master boldness. You became it. You became the storm, the fire, the living proof that fear is a liar and hesitation is a slow death. The bold don't wait to be remembered. The bold burn their names into history, whether history wants them or not. Boldness at its core is menace disguised as grace. It's the art of standing so still that everyone forgets you're breathing, right until the second you move, and when you move, it's thunder. It's not for the polite, it's not for the safe, it's not for the sheep who bow their heads and whisper prayers for permission. Boldness is for the wolf who eats prayers for breakfast and uses their silence as seasoning. It is sharp, it is unforgiving, and it is always, always watching. Understand this, the bold are not loved. They are feared, and that's the secret no one dares to tell you. To master the art of the bold is to accept that adoration is counterfeit compared to awe. Applause dies when the lights go out. But fear lingers, it stains, it gnaws. Fear is the shadow people cast when you walk by, the lump in their throat when they try to whisper your name. That's the currency of boldness. Not claps, not trophies, not pity, but the trembling silence of those who once thought they could bury you. And what's beautiful, what's twisted, is that boldness doesn't even need to roar. Boldness whispers, boldness smirks, boldness doesn't announce its arrival. It lets the world realize too late that it's already here. The bold don't fight fair. They don't play by rules etched by trembling hands. They turn rules into rubble. They write their law with a grin, and they make the very air bend around them. Boldness is a ghost in plain sight, a monster wrapped in skin, a god carved from the ashes of yesterday's weakness. So master it, but know the cost. Because once you step into that level of boldness, there's no going back to soft. You can't return to small, you can't retreat into silence, you can't pretend to be one of them. You'll forever be the outsider, the menace, the firestorm walking in daylight. But here's the truth. Better to be feared for eternity than forgotten by morning. Better to master boldness as a dangerous art than to die invisible in a world that rewards cowards. Boldness is not a virtue, it's a war cry wrapped in human skin. To master it is to kill hesitation in cold blood and bury fear without a funeral. Boldness is execution. It is the hand on the lever that drops the trapdoor, the finger on the trigger that doesn't shake, the voice that cuts through chaos like a guillotine. You don't master it by pretending, you master it by bleeding for it, by sacrificing comfort, by laughing while the bridges behind you burn to ash, because boldness has no return ticket. Once you step through that fire, you are gone to the old world forever. The cowards will call it madness, the weak will name it evil, and the broken will whisper that you've gone too far. But boldness doesn't ask for their approval, it devours it. Boldness doesn't want to be praised, it wants to be remembered. And not in polite whispers, but in screams and shivers, in the kind of silence that follows an explosion when the smoke hasn't cleared. That's what boldness does. It detonates reality and rebuilds it in your image. And here's the most terrifying truth. Boldness doesn't just destroy the chains on your neck, it destroys the ones on theirs too. That's why they fear you, because your courage exposes their cowardice. Your fire exposes their ice. Your boldness unmasks every lie they ever lived under, every excuse they ever clung to. When you rise, they see themselves for what they are, small, trembling, invisible, and nothing terrifies the world more than a mirror that doesn't blink. So if you want to master the art of the bold, understand this. You're stepping into a role bigger than survival, bigger than victory, bigger than yourself. You're stepping into the role of annihilation and rebirth. You'll break their rules, shatter their illusions, and leave them begging for a world that can't exist anymore. And when the dust settles, when the fire dies, when the silence is so loud it echoes, you won't be waiting for applause. You'll be the applause. You'll be the terror. You'll be the legend carved into the bones of the ones who doubted you. Boldness speaks, and it does not stutter. It is the shadow crawling up the wall when the lights flicker. It is the pressure in the room when every coward realizes their excuses just suffocated. Boldness doesn't argue, it doesn't debate, it doesn't plead its case. Boldness walks in, sits down at the table, and flips it over without saying a word. That's how you know it's real, because the world can't ignore it, can't dilute it, can't bury it under pretty speeches or fake smiles. Boldness is the silence after the gunshot, the stillness after the building falls, the moment everyone holds their breath because they know something irreversible has just happened. And when boldness grips you, there's no cure. You stop being a citizen of their system. You stop being a pawn on their board. You become the board. You become the game. And every player who thought they had you mapped out realizes the rules were rewritten the second you decided you were done obeying. That's mastery. Not fitting into the story, but ripping the pen from their trembling fingers and writing it in fire and blood and laughter that doesn't care who flinches. They'll try to warn others about you. They'll whisper your name like a cautionary tale, like a ghost story told to children before bed. But that's the beauty of it. Boldness doesn't fade with distance. It grows, it spreads, it infects. Once they've seen you stand unshaken, they can't unsee it. Once they've felt your presence, they can't unfeel it. Boldness becomes a virus in their minds, reminding them every second of what they could never be. And that's immortality. Not statues, not headlines, but the unshakable imprint of fear and awe that lingers long after your voice is gone. So stand tall even when the floor cracks. Smile even when the knives are out. Speak even when the silence demands your surrender. Because every breath you take in boldness is a warning shot. Every step you take is a declaration. Every laugh you release is a prophecy. Master it and you'll never just live, you'll dominate, you'll reshape, you'll burn your mark into the universe so deep not even time can erase it. Boldness isn't just an art. Boldness is the only language the world respects. Like, comment, and subscribe. Boldness becomes destiny. The moment you stop asking where the road leads and start declaring where the road will end. It's not a question of fate, it's not a matter of luck, it's the iron grip you wrap around your own future, bending it until it screams. Destiny isn't something handed to you in a velvet box, it's something you drag out of the fire with your bare hands, scars and all. And boldness is the only thing hot enough to shape it. Without boldness, destiny is just a bedtime story. With it, destiny is a weapon. The truth is, boldness devours everything in its path. Comfort, fear, doubt, even time itself. It doesn't wait for the right hour or the right chance. It makes the hour right, it makes the chance real. Boldness kicks doors down that weren't even meant for you, sits on thrones that weren't even built for you, and smiles while the world tries to figure out how you got in. That's destiny. Not the one written in their books, but the one written in your blood. And here's the final revelation. Boldness is not survival. Boldness is domination. Survival is crawling out of the grave. Boldness is turning that grave into a throne. Survival is proving them wrong. Boldness is making them kneel forever, doubting you in the first place. Boldness doesn't want applause. It doesn't want mercy. It doesn't even want recognition. It wants total eclipse. It wants to swallow the horizon until all that remains is your silhouette. So master the art of boldness, and you will not just live, you will reign. You will not just rise, you will consume. You will not just exist, you will carve your existence into the bones of the earth. Let them call it madness. Let them call it evil. Let them tremble at the very sound of your footsteps. Because when boldness becomes destiny, you stop being human. You become the storm, the fire, the annihilation, and the rebirth. And destiny bows to you, because destiny only recognizes the bold.